Good evening. Today's Thursday, September 25th, 2025. I'll call the Board of Health meeting to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we have our last meeting to approve the minutes for May 22nd. Okay, motion second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Meetings pass. On to new business. Request of Weights and Measures Inspector to increase fees charged by the town of North Andover and wages received.
Yes.
Brian.
So Leonard Rose, our Street Weights and Measure, he's been here for years. Before him, it was Ed Johnson, who used to work for the town of Tewksbury. I don't think the fees have been raised in 20 years, would be my guess. We do collect the fees. We do pay him a stipend out of those fees. So basically, a lot of towns are starting to re-up their fees just to look and see what they have. So I gave you guys some information on the numbers that he looked at, some of the towns that he does weights and measures for, and what the annual pay is per town. As you can see, we have the second highest number of devices, and we're at the very bottom of the pay scale. So he does make some sense. I did run some numbers. I gave you guys the numbers. I actually went through and counted the different types of scales that he does. I can send this to you guys for after the meeting. But basically, we collect just over $7,000 in scale fees. We've got 9 scales over 10,000 pounds. We've got 6 scales between 100 and 1,000 pounds. We've got 150 scales under 100 pounds. We have 5 scales 10 and under, 32 apothecary scales, 167 gas meters, basically the gas pumps, and then 10 reverse vending bottle return machines. So if we raise the prices to what he is looking to kind of go up a little bit in each category, it does put us in line right with Salem, Mass. In North Reading, actually we're exactly the same as North Reading. We would bring in $12,875 if we don't get any more scales. So we could afford to give him a little bump up in his salary, which wouldn't take effect until next July. We're on a fiscal year operating budget. So if we do vote to raise the fees, we can raise the fees between now and July, and then it would take effect July 1st of FY27 would be the fiscal year. But these are the fees. If you guys like them, we can adopt them. If you want to hold off and do some more research, or if you want to think about it longer, you can hold off until another meeting. But I wanted to at least present the information that he and I had talked about and the stuff that we had gone over.
I mean, I don't think it seems unreasonable.
A couple bucks each scale, basically, is what we're doing.
So to make up the volume of dollars, what you'd have to believe is all of the NA stuff that we're, non-applicable stuff that we're doing.
We don't have those yet.
Is driving a lot of volume to
Yes.
get the discrepancy.
Yep.
Because otherwise, the difference in numbers aren't enough, just looking at it by eye to get that big a discrepancy, which makes sense.
Yep.
I mean, I guess just solely speaking for myself, I think it, the only thing that looks a little quote-unquote high is the top number, but even that, I don't have a strong opinion on.
The 9 scales
So,
over 10,000 pounds?
Yeah,
Yep, okay.
but,
I'm going from one.
everything else is in line. The other one is, I guess the question I sort of had when I was looking at this was if, I was just trying to get a sense of whether the other cities who were behind had already increased to that level, and so we're kind of going above it, or whether they were eventually going to quote-unquote get around to it, and we're just aligning with what the future kind of equivalent point will be.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to get a sense
Meaning
of.
we'll be at the bottom again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think North Reading,
Essentially,
Yeah.
I think North Reading is one of the most recent ones, and that's what he's kind of basing his our fees off, because they're very similar. in terms of what we have and what they went up to, and then what we go up to will be equal to theirs. I can ask him when each one of these towns last raised their fees, if you like. I can get you that information.
It was more of a personal query than
Oh.
I'm being like, you know. Just trying to be a good steward of money.
Okay.
That's all.
Any other discussion, questions?
Anybody have a motion?
Did you want us to wait? or-
No.
You know, I'll motion that we accept the table as it is.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Opposed?
The motion passed. I will let Leonard know, and honestly, they are very few and far between, so I don't want to lose them. It's not a very lucrative job, and there's not a lot of people doing it, so we have one of the best in the state. I want to keep them.
Awesome.
826 Osgood Street, housing condemnation.
Okay, so we don't need to officially have a vote on this because the house is vacant. But typically for condemnation, I would have you guys have a public hearing and vote. But that's only when the house is occupied and somebody has to be removed. But she is in the hospital. I don't want her coming back to the house and trying to relive in it.
Right.
It's a sad situation. It's been going on for a long time. Her friends knew about it. The power of attorney who I've been working with talked to me before she broke herself out of rehab. And so I was working with her on trying to figure out what to do. She called Serpro. She talked to a contractor about the handicap ramp in front was rotted and falling apart. So the occupant was having a hard time getting in and out. She'd fallen a few times already and been in rehab before for that. This was pneumonia. And when she went away, she gave power of attorney to her friend, who called me and said, hey, look, this is what's going on. She's not there, but I need to know what to do. So I said, okay, if it's bad inside, I didn't actually meet her yet. We talked on the phone. I said, if you think it can be salvaged, you want to call Serpro, get them out there, have them give you an estimate. She goes, I don't know what the lady's finances are. I don't have access to her bank accounts yet, but she's on the house for 50 years, so it's pretty much paid for. I think she might have a small equity line of credit out on it. I was like, okay, well, talk to Serpro, find out what it's going to cost. If you're saying what it is going on in there, then have a professional go in and take a look at it. Mary then checked herself out of rehab against medical advice and took a cab. She doesn't have Uber. Took a cab back to the house. Couldn't get in. Called the fire department. Police were on their way because Whittier called the police to do a wellness check, knowing her house situation. So, talked to the lieutenant on duty. Met him out there actually the next morning. Met the power of attorney out there the next morning. Went inside, took a look, took some pictures, and was like, okay, yeah, this is condemned. She can't come back here. Like, it's official. Building department came out there as well. The infestation was pretty severe. Everything was covered in droppings. The building commissioner basically said there's a high probability that the wires inside the walls have been eaten, and the insulation has been used for nesting materials. They're nesting in the walls. They're nesting all over the place. So he cut the power. At that point, no power, complete unsanitary conditions, unsafe. She was actually in rehab for pneumonia. So she had,
Plasmodium, whatever that
right.
respiratory issue is.
So I just want to give you guys a heads up. I'm still working with the power of attorney now. They're trying to find placement for her right now at a.
Is she back in rehab?
No, she's, I think, still at Lawrence General. So, she's very vocal and very outspoken at the hospital. She doesn't like being there. She wants to leave. She wants to go home. Her pets have been surrendered to animal control, and they are rehoming the animals. So as of right now, it's just sitting vacant, and the power attorney is trying to figure out what to do.
Is she lucid and coherent?
She can come off that way, yes, but I think looking at the living situation and seeing what she's doing, even to the power of attorney, she's not very nice. So, and she says stuff that doesn't quite make sense sometimes, at least to the people that know her.
Okay.
So, it could be going down that slope.
Yeah, I
But-
think that becomes a legal battle with.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, they're even thinking about just putting the house in the market and selling it as is, like a tear
Like a
down.
contractor or
Yep.
flipper?
Yep. I mean, prime real estate, it's gonna suffer a
In
good
North
chunk of
Andover?
change.
Mhm.
So she'll be well off and able
Let's
to
have something
afford.
to take care of them.
Correct, yeah. But that's where we're at right now with that. So still up in the air, so we're gonna hear back from the attorney, the power of attorney as to what she wants to do and what Mary wants to do.
Okay,
So it's officially condemned by Building and Health.
Is there an express action that we need to take other than just be informed?
Just being informed. Like I said, it's vacant, so you don't have to have a public hearing. If it was occupied and they were removed, then you would have a public hearing. They'd be able to come here and basically discuss the situation. But as you can see from the pictures, I did the official condemnation via letter and with the power of attorney. She completely accepts it and understands what's going on, so that's that.
Most hopefully she gets a decent sum of money to take care of herself.
That's what we're hoping
I
for.
assume she has no next of kin since she has a power of attorney.
Correct. I believe there might be one relative that she's estranged from, but that's it, and they don't live in the area.
Got it.
But yeah, typically we go through family members to help clean up or to help get the person and dwelling into a better situation. But in this case, it's just a power of attorney who's now just getting access to her bank accounts. So she can start working on the financial piece of it. And she has said to me several times, if anybody ever asks you to do this, just say no. It's a lot of work for her.
oh, yeah. Do you want to continue with all your discussions, North Andover food regulations?
Sure. All right. So basically, I gave you guys a draft copy. I've been working on this forever, like bits and pieces every now and then. What we're trying to do is basically have a local regulation that will check a few boxes. We are part of the FDA standardization program we got grant money for, and doing a local regulation like this and doing a risk-based inspection program helps us meet FDA Standard 3 and also Standard 1. So 2 of the standards out of the 9, this helps us accomplish. Standard 3 is the risk-based inspection program. So once we have the regulations that basically apply this technique to how we do our inspections and how we schedule them, we meet that standard. So we're on our way. We didn't really have anything as a regulation except for one of the programs in here we had done years ago, and I'm looking for where that one is. That is Section 5, food storage facilities. This is in place for one of our supermarkets that during certain seasons, there was a very large volume of food, so they were using refrigerated trucks out in the parking lot to store stuff.
Did this come up in conjunction with Merrimack for some reason?
No, but
Merrimack
Merrimack
College.
did actually have to get a variance for their walk-in at the church renovation, E-Center, bowling alley, and all that stuff. But this was, Section 5 is the only thing we ever had in writing for a food regulation. If you look on page 1, 2, 3, that is our risk categories and our number of inspections per year. So basically what the FDA wants people to do is base your inspections and your frequencies on actual risk. So your snack racks, your prepackaged convenience store type of situated gas stations, those are extremely low risk. You can do those once a year. You go in, is the place sanitary? Are they taking care of it? Go through, look for some expired items, things like that. But that's a once per year type of situation. And then you go up to the next category 2, those get 2 inspections per year. And those, some retail food store operations, maybe schools that don't do a lot of food, hot holding, cold holding, TCS Foods, which is time and temperature controlled for safety, that after they prep, they cook them, basics, more simple operations. And then your 3s are your full-service restaurants. 4s is your highly susceptible populations, so nursing homes, some schools, And then any type of preschools, any type of operation that does more specialized processes. So reduced oxygen packaging, hazard plans for sushi, things like that, we'll do 4 times a year. So those are the higher risk where you have more of your issues, so you stay on top of them a little bit more. And then the FDA does give you the ability to bump somebody up or down, depending on compliance history. If they're doing a great job, you can move them down and do them less if you trust the operation, and they've proven over time they can do a good job and they get very little things that are out of compliance. Or, if they're not in compliance a lot, you can move them up to the next category and do them even more. So, every town has establishments in both of those categories. We just have to go through and start to figure it out.
Latter is probably more common.
Yes. But there are some really good ones that could bump down. And then just getting some things in here in writing in terms of having a certified food protection manager on site at all times. Currently, the regs read, the FDA code has it, that you have to have one on staff. And then when they're not there, they designate a person in charge who is supposed to be knowledgeable in food safety and the operation. That doesn't always happen. So we're gonna bump that up and have a required serve-safe food manager on site at all times. Whenever they're in operation, they have to have somebody in charge that can answer our questions, that can go through the inspection with the inspector, that can make changes or make decisions if something is not in compliance, where sometimes you'll have a shift manager there that doesn't really know everything they should, and they're in charge, and they can't make decisions and change operations without talking to somebody above them down the road.
Brian, what kind of training does that consist of?
It's a course.
Okay.
It's a course and a test. There are different companies that do it. ServSafe is probably the most common, but there are a couple different companies that do the class, and then it's an actual proctor test.
Is that also followed through with B and C in addition? Or is that all, A, B, and C are all covered under 5 with the training? This is the choke saver or the...
Oh, yes, yep.
awareness.
Choke serve is a different course, but, yep, and the allergen awareness is also, that's a mass state requirement. But I'd like to have somebody on site at all times with these.
Yeah, just to your point about the training,
Yeah.
just thinking about what the incremental cost is gonna be. Not that I'm not sympathetic to the,
There's also different levels. You can have like the food manager one for like, probably higher management. Then they also have the food handler course, which is probably half the cost of the food manager one. That would be, in my opinion, fine for like your shift supervisor or some kind of lower manager. So there's 2 courses that you can take.
Yep.
But the manager one's obviously a lot more in depth, but the handler one is good for basic food knowledge and things like that.
Allergen is on the state website. Looks like 10 or 15 bucks or something.
Did you get my email with those edits?
Oh, for the email we sent to the food establishments? No, not yet. Sorry, I didn't get a chance to look at it yet. You were gone today. But yeah, so this is just a draft. I'm gonna be doing some more work on this. And some of the things that I was thinking about adding in there, there's been talk and been some issues, not issues, but there's been at least some things going around the state with CBD and THC additives in food. It's not legal now, but I know companies are working on it and trying to get it at least allowed. The FDA and the FDA code, there's something that says you can't have any unapproved food additives. CBD and hemp or THC are not approved FDA food additives, but there is talk they're trying to get that taken care of. So a thought would be to have something in a local reg that says either banning it completely or restricting it to certain types of operations, or just something to discuss and get your feedback on that. What do you guys think?
So from, on a state level, that's not gonna be like overseen by the, I think it's the Marijuana Commission, or,
Never know. If the FDA changes that one little thing,
it won't fall to that.
then it would fall to us.
So theoretically, it can just show up in a grocery store.
Because the state basically says right now, the FDA code says this, therefore you can't. But if the FDA changes that in their next edition, through lobbyists and however that works, then the FDA won't have that in writing, and the state will be like, you figure it out.
Well, and none of our other regs would cover that.
No, no. Right now, and we've gone into some liquor stores where they've had cannabis types of drinks or CBD type of drinks, and I've had them remove them from the shelves. Because, and I've gotten word from DPH on this on multiple occasions, it is not legal to have that as a food additive, cut and dry. But the liquor distributors are trying to push these sometimes onto their smaller stores and get away with it. And then I get a phone call, hey, they're selling this at this store. And then I run out and I go, yep, found it.
Wow.
Yeah. So right now it's not legal, but it could change, and I don't know if you guys want to have something in writing already in place that would address it. Whether it's to restrict it to 21 and over, or,
Or to
Not in food
certain
at all?
establishments?
yep, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a great, something that we should look into.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to
Yeah.
bring that to your attention before we finalize
Limit it
this.
to the one, what is the thing we have, that one allowed store to sell?
Oh, the adult-only tobacco store.
Can we make that the only place that could sell it?
We could.
That way everything there is adult only, right?
Yeah,
Right,
for sure.
Kind of picking winners and losers, but.
Because you don't know how regulated those
Right.
drinks are, really.
Right.
I don't know, I really
Yeah.
don't know a lot about them. I've never done the research on it yet, because they're not legal,
Right.
so,
If
at least
I-
yet.
If I remember correctly, the original purpose of kind of looking at this, in addition to picking off some things, it was really to get a better coherence with the changes in state and federal regulations, so we're not constantly in a churn, right?
Right.
So, okay, so I mean, that all makes sense to me, I guess, I don't know, the former entrepreneur in me is a little concerned, like, with things like choke saver so I understand the handling of food. I think it's a good thing to help people and make sure that, they don't choke, but I see almost like it's an additional expansion of scope and mission of what we're assigning them to do for their folks. Just the way I'm seeing it right now, and then without understanding the cost regimes and kind of how it goes back and forth, it's hard for me to digest that.
The fire department does it,
The fire department do the choke saver.
yeah, like
Okay.
for short money though.
Yeah, very
It's
short.
Okay.
Choke save and CPR all in the same class.
Is
Okay.
does anyone
When they do
teach
it.
just
Yep.
saver?
No,
I feel like it's usually
CPR with
I was gonna say, does anybody
Yeah.
do that independently of CPR?
Any type of CPR, first aid,
But they
American Red
can't
Cross.
just do it. I don't, they
Just
can't
the
just
choke
do
saver.
the choke saver, I don't think, can they?
Yeah, maybe because I'm seeing it listed individually, I'm just like
Yeah.
ticking a box. Okay,
Yeah.
now there's 3 or 4 things you're gonna have to kind of figure out how to get licensed for.
Right.
Right now,
It
the
just-
choke
But
saver
it's
is
just
for,
one
what,
person,
25 or
right?
more seats?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay.
But
It's
we
just-
also felt like we have 24 seats, nobody can choke if at 24 seats, like it's only 25 seats. Like, that's kind
Fair
of what
play.
we were
Yeah.
talking
Yeah.
about,
Yeah.
Fair
like,
play.
Well, isn't it more about like how many employees they might have, right? Like if you're in a place, I'm thinking like the size, if there's one person and the regulation
always
is
have to have
that
someone
one
there.
person, but like, so I think your size, I'm thinking like, well, if it's a 25 seat, how many employees tend to be there? So 1 of 3, 1 of 5, 1 of 6, 1 of 7 seems much more reasonable than
Yeah.
1 of 2, right?
right.
Or you could get tripped into the de facto instead of, thinking that, okay, someone has to be licensed. Effectively, all of them have to be licensed because by the time you
Correct.
get through the shifts and the coverage, I don't want to always sound like I'm a shill for business or anything, but I just, I hear the
Yes.
the running
Yep.
numbers that could start to tick up if we're not careful.
As part of our grant, could we offer like an annual training or something like that? Or
We
is
could.
there money in the grant that we could, or even make scholarships available should be needed or
I
something
could do
like that?
Somebody just like a hardship or
Yeah.
something like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
and just pay
Yeah,
the fire
that
department.
would go some way.
Yeah,
The fees or something like that.
All right.
Yeah.
I can easily look into that.
The one other thing I had, quick comment, is it hard to digest the risk categories without it being, I don't want to make this like 30 pages long, but it would be helpful because a lot of this is discussed in the context of the risk categories. If we just had like a very simple table that kind of said what the risk categories are,
Okay.
it'd be easier to kind of digest what is either covered or not covered by a particular aspect of some of the requirements. I see, and I'm sorry, maybe I didn't read that right. Maybe this is it, right?
That is it, but it's.
Okay,
it's-
I'm sorry.
It's wordy.
Yeah. No, then
Yeah.
I withdraw that. I apologize. 'Cause maybe that's my limitation. I
Yeah.
should have seen that as what it was. I think what I was looking for was a very
Like,
a very
yeah,
simple
yeah,
table. Like,
okay,
yeah.
all right.
I withdraw that.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Sure. Yeah, so that was one of the things I was thinking about was the CBD THC clause. I can look into any type of, not scholarship, but funded program to help restaurants if they want to sign up one person per year per establishment, kind of running with that and seeing if we can get some money for that, which I think I can probably hit the FDA up for
That's
in
what I
our
was
grant.
thinking, yeah.
So I can definitely look into it.
Maybe do that regionally, right?
We could do that regionally, yes.
With the buzzword.
Soon, yes. As soon as we have anybody in as staff, that'd be great. And I was gonna toss around some different grease trap requirements. We don't really have any major problems, but some places, depending on their use, are in different towns required to put in exterior grease traps if it's new construction. That are bigger, if you're building a new restaurant, then you're doing the site work already. I wouldn't make anybody do it unless they were having a lot of backups, and right now we don't have that, which is good. We did back in the day when the Beijing was in operation over there, but that was 20-something years ago. And I've talked to the DPW about this on a couple different occasions, and we don't have any problem areas, which is good. So the interior grease traps are basically sufficient for the operations that we have, and they're hopefully maintaining them. But
You don't really have land that someone's probably gonna come in and build a new restaurant from the ground up, right?
probably not.
I mean,
You
we're
never
running- We're
know.
running out of,
Yeah, I'm not sure where that would go.
yeah,
And if Royal Crest ever does get redeveloped,
True.
or if Barker Farm sells to a developer, I don't think it's
Yeah.
gonna happen, but you never say never, right?
Right.
And then now 125, the corridor now has sewer. So that opens up a lot of possibilities for over across from Amazon and those buildings over
Oh.
there. Some of them are older, some are being rehabbed, but there is land.
so is there any harm if you're doing this to just put it for new?
No,
I
no,
mean,
it's
while
just
you're
something that was,
doing it, why
Yeah,
not do
why
it?
not?
If it doesn't apply to anyone, it doesn't apply to anyone, but then you have it if
Right.
you need it, right?
yep,
Yeah, I mean, if it's just a function of kitchen operations, it just goes into the cost of having a commercial kitchen.
Right.
Yeah.
If it's something that requires them to go into the ground, which I don't think it should, then that's a different deal.
and then maybe having some type of more stringent log requirement for maintaining interior cleaning logs for their grease traps under the
That's
three-bay.
fair.
Something along those lines, but that's been kind of tossing around in my head for a while on that one.
Seems reasonable.
Plan review criteria we have in here, I'm gonna maybe add to that, I'm not sure. Fines for not appearing to Board of Health meeting if requested, and fines for unpermitted waste hauler dumpster company. What do you think of that, Craig? Because we permit all the dumpster companies, and some of them we have to chase, but if they have a restaurant that won't use them anymore, because they're gonna get fined for using an unpermitted company, it might pressure the companies to get their hauling permits.
What are you doing if you found, what is the penalty for the certifications? How
It's
would,
a violation of the regulations.
okay.
It's a $100 fine.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever issued a food fine before, and I had these regulations in other places where I've worked, but it's just something to say, hey, look, if you don't fix this, I can give you a fine. Money talks.
We added fine for the late food permit as well, right?
Yes. Yep. Late fees will charge, because we gotta chase people down for a month after the food permit's
We
expired.
didn't have a fine for late permit, food permit.
No, no.
Yeah, it seems to me that the other whammy or the other stick you could use is require them to post a notice of a violation. 'Cause it's
Oh.
certainly something people would see. No, I would start having some questions about going in a restaurant.
Yeah,
This
right.
is,
Yeah.
Are we bringing up the big
This-
A, B,
this
C,
restaurant is
D?
in violation.
Like when you travel and you're like, there's a
Just
giant
another
A.
thought.
in
Oh,
the-
yeah, oh, yeah, totally. One thing, this is a pet peeve of mine. The automatic faucets, some of them never get warm.
Oh,
I hate that.
are you putting that?
I was gonna say, you gonna put that in the regulations?
I was thinking about it. Like, it has to get warm within like 30 or 45 seconds. Sit there for half an hour trying to get warm water?
I feel like that's all over the place, though. It's not just food, restaurant.
Yeah. Or, some places never have paper towels. So you wash your hands, you go to open the door, and there's no like toe kick or anything. I hate that. So I thought about adding those in there too, just for me.
Yeah, just for a month, go out to eat and keep writing down your pet peeves.
Yeah,
There
right?
you go.
And that's it for the food. So,
Do, like the community, access television show, What Grinds My Gears.
oh, there you go, right?
There we go.
Special guest, Pat Scanlon.
This is gonna be,
One of what grinds his gears.
when you retire, you're gonna write a book
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
of everything you've seen.
Oh my God, right? So that's the food regulations. They're in draft, but I wanted to at least get them to you guys. I've been talking about it for a year now. Hopefully I can finish them up the next month and get them before you guys for a public hearing in October.
I think that the marijuana or the THC drinks and everything like
Yeah.
that, if you're gonna put something in, I mean, maybe keeping it broad of just like only to be sold at, alcohol or liquor establishments with the age of 21 or something like that, just keeping it
Okay.
broad. I
And
mean, I
then-
can't imagine, I guess, if there's no regulations, that convenience stores can just up and
I know.
sell it.
Right.
So maybe if we just limit it to liquor,
21 plus.
yeah.
Okay.
What did they look like? Did they look like energy
They look-
drinks? Are
yeah, they
do
look
I
like
remember,
your-
I remember they looking like any
Yeah.
other.
Your hard
energy drink.
seltzer type of can.
Yeah.
Graphics all over it.
Silver and Haverhill that actually sells quite a few, because it just caught my eye one day, I'm like, what is this? But they just look like regular beer cans.
Yep.
And I think it's 5%, or whatever is the,
5 milligrams or something.
yeah, whatever the limit is in Massachusetts for like one serving, is what's in the drink.
Is that Haverhill establishment one of the dispensaries, or is it?
No, it was at a liquor store.
But it's not legal though.
Correct.
Got it.
Right.
Just following, just following.
Correct.
okay.
Yeah.
Don't overcomplicate it.
Yeah.
No, I was on the same, I was like,
Yeah, like, wait a
Yeah.
minute.
okay.
But if we say it has to be at a place that's 21 plus, but there actually isn't a law saying you have to sell it to someone that's
Are we
21
permitting it,
plus.
essentially?
Or are we, right? We're saying that it could only,
We could put a restriction in that if THC or CBD drinks are allowed in Massachusetts, they must only be sold in 21 plus stores in North Andover.
but then would they have to be 21 plus to buy it in that store?
Yes.
Okay.
So,
I mean,
Is-
I don't
is
know.
that the-
I'd
I don't
assume
know
if
how
you
this
go
works.
into a liquor store
Dispensary,
today and wanna buy the
21 or
tonic water,
18?
you can if you're not 21,
yeah.
correct?
Correct, yeah,
you should probably know.
yeah.
That's mind-boggling.
Right? Like they sell stuff that
Yeah,
has
right,
no
yeah.
alcohol in
But
it,
I
or
think
go
you
buy a
have to
lot.
be, I'm pretty sure that, to buy marijuana in the state, you have to be 21.
Okay.
Is that correct?
I don't know,
think
what
so.
about
Yes.
CBD?
Yeah.
Is that 21?
I don't think
No.
CBD is
No.
regulated because it's not, doesn't have the THC that's giving you the.
That's why,
high.
I guess that's
Yeah.
what I was wondering, is it enough to put it in a liquor store? Because I'm not thinking necessarily just the liquor, like a 100% liquor
I
store,
mean,
but
there
we
was,
have places
there was a
that do
CBD
both.
place right across the street, in Main Street.
Is that still downtown?
No.
Like that, I don't think there was a regulation for what, because it's not
But
that.
they didn't have anything edible, or they
Correct. They
did?
didn't have anything, and I made sure of that.
Like creams and.
Yeah.
But it's,
That's
the-
what
it's the
CBD
THC is the problem. That's
Right.
what alters your sensorium. So maybe we have to just more specify like
Okay.
THC versus CBD.
Okay. And then I do think the additives should be restricted from food. Like, you're not gonna go to a pizza shop and get pizza with a drizzle on top.
Well, that's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking, like
Yeah.
the
Right.
basket of
You- you
brownies
talk about
sitting
escalated
next to
Sounds
that.
like a,
Yeah, totally, right? So, yeah,
sounds
so
like a fun Friday night.
It sounds like they're just making a constant round circle, round trip.
Yeah.
there was talk about places being able to sell like a pizza shop and then having a rack with like CBD oils, and you can buy both, you just have to mix it yourself, kind of stuff. That's been,
Like a large pepperoni pizza.
get a large
with,
pepperoni pizza, and then you get your cookie on the side, a drink, and a little vial of whatever.
I guess my question would be for that, like if THC, so I have a friend who makes barbecue sauce. And he now makes a THC infused barbecue sauce because you can get it now, I learned science behind it, that it's more water soluble. And it was oil based before. So it would mix with food product, it wouldn't mix well. Now they make a product that's water based, so it mixes well with food. But I guess my question would be like, if you're at a bar and you order a beer, what's the difference between ordering a beer and some barbecue sauce with THC?
It's a lot
Well,
of chicken legs they're gonna be eating.
Because you're gotta be 21 to be in the bar.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You can be 21 in a bar with alcohol,
Mm-hmm.
and you're 21 to buy.
You can sub shop at Main Street selling THC infused cookies or something. That's what I want you to.
Yeah.
You're saying liquor store, are we, what are you saying about bars? Could they serve one of these drinks in a glass and check your ID and hand it to you?
Right, that's kind of my question.
Yep. If you're in a bar and cannabis is 21 plus, and you're in a bar, you can get a cannabis infused drink if they're legal. Once they're legal. I mean, I'm sure that the lobbyists are working hard on this. So yeah, that would be something you could do.
So we're saying
But-
we're okay with 21
But you're not going to
plus
Quick Pick and buying.
liquids, but not
Right.
solid. No. That's essentially
No, I
what
think-
we're saying.
The thing that I'm focused on is any type of food additive. You're not going to go to your tavern down the street and get a burger with THC infused mayonnaise or bacon jam or something on it. That's what I'm trying to. That's my thought, is to restrict it to, if it's an approved food additive, you can't do it in a restaurant or pizza shop, food operation. You're gonna sell it in drinks at the liquor store, that's fine. That's
Well,
what it's. I think-
contamination could be, I mean, your argument could be like everyone eating in that pizza place is not 21 plus. Like everyone
Right.
drinking out of this glass that I hand you is probably you, and you know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
I think
Right.
that's what you could
Yeah.
use to control it.
So
It
I'm
would be too
thinking-
hard to.
Yep.
You'd put people at risk essentially.
Yeah.
I think,
And-
unless you're going to only make food with.
Right,
that.
so I'm thinking that the chef's not mixing it in the back and selling it to
Correct.
whoever orders the burger special today,
Right.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
The drinks, I think, will be regulated by the Cannabis Control Commission and probably only allowed either at dispensaries or 21 plus liquor stores. As long as it's clearly labeled, like THC,
Right.
not Sun Cruiser
Right.
or Fun Cruiser.
Blaster Max. Blaster Max.
Yeah, there you go, right? Yeah. So I'll work on some wording for that, but I just wanted to at least get your opinion on that.
With a spaced out panda on the front.
Awesome. All right.
Wheelabrator testing frequency?
So yeah, I gave you guys the letters for those. Wheelabrator has the right to do it, obviously. Just read the special permit from the planning board and their amendments from way back in the day, but they never did it. But now, new management, new company, they probably went through their old historic documents and found it today. We don't have to spend all this money doing all the testing, let's do it what's required. I just didn't want it to be like low-key and like not discussed. So I wanted to at least give it to you guys, get your opinion. I did talk to our environmental monitoring consultant for this about it. We drafted a letter that we could send if you want to have Wheelabrator explain it to you, but it's not necessary. But if you guys want to have it in public, we can discuss it tonight. You guys have the information, or you could always have them come in to discuss it and what their thought process was. I'm assuming it's financial, and it costs a lot to do their stack testing every quarter, and now they do it once every 9 months.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it was, first of all, it's as of right. I mean, they have the
Yes.
right to do it.
Yep.
There's a clawback if they violate it. I think the thing I was gonna be, when I was reading it, I was most
Yeah.
concerned about is, okay, first of all, they're supposed to have been well below the limit, whatever that was. I didn't really try to make a judgment on how
Yeah.
far below is a good thing, or,
Yeah.
but they're below the limit based on the regulation. if they have a violation, it sounds like it triggers it back to the old regime, so it's a clawback to say you gotta go back to regular testing as soon as you have an exception. So at least we're protected for that, and apparently they haven't violated in
Yep.
all the duration.
20 years they've had
So
no.
it seemed like a reasonable, that plus they have the right to do it, it all seemed reasonable to me.
I just didn't want anybody accusing the board of not making it public and having public knowledge that they're doing this, because it is, obviously, it was a site assignment that the Board of Health issued way back in the day, back in the 80s when they built it. Planning board did their due diligence and did their special permit hearings, and they had the requirement for a while, and then they changed it. But it wasn't done behind closed doors, is what my main priority was. So it's not something they paid us off to do.
I mean, this is also legacy regulation, which makes me feel a little more comfortable than if
Yes.
this was,
Oh, yeah,
like,
definitely.
last month they declared that we need to waive all testing of all plants going forward or something like that. That would make me a lot more
Yeah.
nervous
Yep.
personally, but.
So that's it. So yeah, so a little bit of a historic knowledge on it's a trash to energy plant. They don't like the word incinerator. It's got a bad
I
connotation.
wonder why.
It's got a bad connotation, but they do actually make electricity.
Having visuals
So
of the Simpsons.
whether you have plastic straws or paper
Oh, yeah.
straws, they just make energy. The turtles
Mr.
don't get
Burns.
it anywhere near
Yes.
them.
Okay.
All right.
Hiring shared service coordinator?
So yeah, so we did, Annette left, took a new position. She is now the director out in Shrewsbury, doing a tri-town regional health department. So, she went off to greener pastures, and we've been in the process of hiring a coordinator. We do have an offer letter out to a candidate. I think they are working on, salary right now. So I will be speaking to her tomorrow. Hopefully I can get, because I just found out today that she got the offer letter, which I've been waiting for about 2 weeks. But we got it, so it's fantastic. And we got to work on bringing her in and getting her started. Hopefully I have better news. I thought I was going to have better news when I made the agenda. But as of right now, we have an offer letter out. Going to see how that pans out. If not, we do have backup candidates. But I want our number one choice.
Excellent.
Oh, and then after that, we're gonna be hiring a regional health inspector. So we changed around the budget, and the position that we had before was a communication specialist. We found we didn't really need it as much as we thought we did, and we have more use for another regional inspector, because some towns have a lot less capacity than some of the other towns in our collaborative and need more help. So, that would be the next phase after we hire the coordinator. I want the coordinator to come in and then have them run the process of hiring the inspector. Good experience for somebody coming in. Can learn how the town politics work. Tobacco regulations. Ron wants to update them. They haven't been done in a long time. It's just getting on board with the state laws. The state fines have all changed, some of the criteria's changed, the definitions have changed for e-cigarettes and all that kind of stuff. He reached out to me and asked me if we could do that. I said next month would be a good one. This month I thought we had enough to talk about. So I'm gonna ease you guys back into the whole board meeting thing.
I mean, is it as simple as just kind of adopting what's already out there? My sense is he probably wants to go beyond it.
We have our own local regulations that at one time did mirror some of the state stuff. The state has since changed. And we just want to update them. It's been 10 years maybe?
Yeah, it's not unreasonable.
8 years?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think when the hell it was. 2019?
I was like, you're looking at.
Yeah, I'm
me,
looking at you
so
like you
I'm
know.
That means it's
I think it was
been
like-
since I've been sitting here.
2018 or 2019, I think, is when we did them last. And then everything's changed. I also wanted to ask you guys about the cap. There have been more people coming in looking for tobacco permits. We don't have any left. So we're basically saying no.
So we
Yeah, I
wound up
thought
giving
we
that.
worked out a solution
Well, we
last
gave
time,
that
right?
last one to, so did the Cork Stop take the one?
Not
They-
yet. It's
So there is
it's-
still
it-
one sitting out there?
Nope,
Or
it's-
did they not give it back?
They haven't given it back. They probably will this winter when the permits have to be renewed, and they're like, we don't need 2, but that'll open up 1. We've got a few people that have come in, including him, but other people on top of that. And our adult-only tobacco permit doesn't have to be designated only adult-only. It was sold as a regular tobacco permit. So we have a cap of 16 with a maximum of 1 adult-only. We have 16 regular, normal tobacco permits out there.
But Ron was saying other towns are, every time one comes open, they're pulling it.
Yeah.
They're reducing, not
yes.
increasing, right?
Yep.
That's what I remember.
Yeah.
But I know people have asked us, and I said, no, we can't do it. They've asked about getting variances, they've asked about getting waivers, they've asked about changing the regs.
What kind of establishments are looking?
One of the gas stations wants to do an adult-only tobacco store next to their gas station. It is what it is. I'm like, we don't have any left, sorry. And then Corkstop wants one, and then somebody else came in, another convenience store or some type of operation. Yeah, liquor store. Yep. And I keep saying we're out, so if you guys are happy with that, anybody complains, I'm gonna give them your phone numbers.
Tell them to go to the other 13 people and tell them.
Yeah, right?
Tell them to, there is a store
But
in
yeah.
town that
Best
has
of a
2.
negotiation.
But,
Yeah, exactly. We don't have to be involved with that.
yeah, so our regular revisions will be done. If you guys are okay with not increasing the cap and keeping it as is, I just wanna at least make you aware that people were inquiring about it.
Yeah, I mean,
Blame us.
yeah, I mean, if the problem is you increase it, then, you know, a couple of years, more people are gonna want it.
Yep.
We were trying to go the other way.
Correct.
Yeah, so I think,
I mean, as a Board of Health, we do want to go the other way.
Well, especially if other communities are going the other way.
Yes. Yep.
I mean, 13 in the town, the size of our town.
16. We have 16.
Or 16.
Yep.
You shouldn't have to go too far. I mean,
Correct.
you know, like,
Oh, yeah.
if you
Yep.
need to buy tobacco, it is available to you. I don't know that we need to make it the most convenient for everybody to have to do it. Agreed.
Less convenience means less smoking.
Yeah. Right.
That's the
Absolutely.
mentality that we took in the past, but,
Right.
okay. All right, just checking.
Sorry, guys.
Craig?
Yep, busy summer, still working with the intern, trying to get her more involved with inspections, but it's been going well. Carolyn's taken her a few times as well for some food clinics and whatnot. Recently just got
Oh,
back
Pete, go
from.
closer to the
Mike.
mic.
Oh,
Yeah.
just dropped out.
Speaking of the mic.
Sorry. Just got back from the MIHA conference, which is the Environmental Health Association. It was pretty interesting. It was good learning about some other communities and how they do certain things as far as like air quality and whatnot in schools. So it's pretty informative. Part of that is NEHA, which is the national one that Brian and I both just joined, or are joining now, because we're looking to get our CPFS, which was it Certified Professional in Food Safety certifications, which would be great. I told Brian I mostly want to do it to get some letters after my name, because I'm the only one that doesn't have any letters after my name. But I think it would be certainly helpful. Yeah.
Nothing magical.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just think it would be helpful, you know, especially in terms of, you know, new restaurants coming in and planning reviews and whatnot. Been working on an email to all the permit holders on some constant issues that we see every time we go in, which is what some of these food regs will address. So, kind of want to have the food reg conversation buttoned up and then send out an email, kind of, you know, I mean, there are places I go into, it's the same problem at X, Y, and Z, you know. A lot of places, there's no person in charge, or they don't have their certificates posted, or they're not on site, which makes the inspections difficult because it's just, they don't have what we're requiring them to have.
Are there fines for those? Or no, not yet because of the
No,
regular?
right.
Okay,
Not yet, but.
okay, so,
Right. And, you know, it's hard, you going in, you're like, hey, where's your pest control? I don't know. Okay, well, where's your, you know, our allergen stuff? Well, the manager keeps it off-site. Okay, well, we can't have that because we need to be able to check it.
right,
You know, so there's a lot of like, well, we can get it to you after the inspection. And it's like, well, it's supposed to be presented now. So I'm running into that quite a bit when I'm out on inspections, so it's just, you know, getting kind of frustrating. So we're just trying to get everybody on the same page and on board, and we figured it was a good time to roll out or just let people know what some of the new food regs are that are coming up. So just been working on that. Been out with DPH and one of our regional inspectors who's working on his tier 3 food training. So they have to get supervised by DPH. I have to go because I'm the authority locally. So been on a few of these with those guys. Pretty intense, good learning experience, definitely pretty intense. But they're getting all their regional trainers trained, and then we'll get trained in the tier 3. So it's good for me, so at least I'll be prepared because I've been seeing all these inspections, which have been nice. Other than that, just been busy day to day. A lot of housing stuff coming up lately, which isn't always the funnest or easiest to deal with, but going well.
Excellent. Before I go over to Carolyn, I got my flu shots. Carolyn does not hurt at all.
Nice.
So I encourage everybody to get their flu shots. We don't need another bad flu season like we had last year.
So all the seasonal drinks are available.
Yep. Yeah.
Gotta go do it.
Yeah, so we've been doing flu shots at the senior center every Wednesdays from 9:30 to 11:30. We've been doing senior housings. We're going to go to school starting next week to do school staff. Our big family flu clinic is going to be October 28th, 4 to 7 at the high school. We also will be hosting a COVID clinic with Laternos November 14th, and they'll have both Moderna and Pfizer. And as of right now, that is the only COVID clinic planned for the town. Pharmacies around us do currently, so I've heard, have COVID vaccines for anybody that is interested. There is a standing order that should allow anybody that is interested in getting the COVID vaccine to be able to get it.
That was gonna be my quick question. With the CDC pronouncements, is that basically going to end very shortly in terms of availability, or?
So
what's the
in
impact?
Massachusetts, Maura Healey signed off, and Dr. Goldstein signed off on a standing order that would
Okay.
have any pharmacy be able to give the COVID vaccine for individuals that are over 65 or have health conditions. But health conditions are self-certified, so anybody who feels strongly about getting a COVID vaccine or is exposed to others or gets exposed to others can go to the pharmacy and self-identify as being at risk to be able to get one.
Okay.
Pretty sure I got a text from the local pharmacy the other day.
Yes,
That's
ma'am.
saying.
Yep.
Do you have RSV?
We do not have RSV, but Laternos does, and they're a walk-in clinic. So they're right over on Shaw Street.
Okay.
So if that is an interest, we can also host, later on after we do the flus and the COVIDs, we can host like another, like, end of the winter respiratory
Yeah.
shebang of all the other respiratory vaccines.
Maybe like senior center.
And how do you get that information out to the public so that they know?
So as of right
Which is
now,
opportunities.
we share it through social media, through Sarah, that gets pushed out through like
Okay.
emails and town websites. The senior center has it in their senior bulletin. And then I'm there every Wednesday normally to do blood pressures, so I have a little following anyways.
You're trending.
She is.
But beyond flu clinics, we've been doing, over the summer, we got a bunch of tick removal kits that we were able to pass out at National Night Out, and Jen made these like wonderful bags to be able to put a bunch of stuff in. So we were doing like summer education. We put out our sunscreen dispensers that we're gonna unfortunately have to take down soon.
Yep.
What else is going? Oh, we also got to use a little bit of opiate fund money to get a Sharps kiosk for the town. So we will have a Sharps kiosk hopefully soon,
In town hall.
in 5 to 6 weeks.
Has that become an issue with GLPs?
We are, so the reason that we decided to,
A little bit, but not really, not a huge
Yeah.
problem. Good.
we are getting more
Yeah.
Sharps containers, but we have like diabetic cats for some reason. That's a popular thing, but, no. But we are more popular than a year or two ago, but it hasn't been like a huge boom so far, but more popular than it was. But we were able to use some of the opioid funds just because now, and hopefully we'll be able to even provide sharps containers for the public,
For diabetic cats.
for diabetic cats.
They have them at the fire stations, don't they, Sharps containers?
Not for free. They do sell them.
Okay.
So we're hoping to be able to provide some for free for the community to use, just so we're standardizing what we're using for sharps containers, because some people are not adhering to the proper sharps disposal. So hopefully we are able to provide sharps containers and people aren't handing over.
Coffee cans?
Coffee cans I'm okay with. Fistfuls of sharps is
Not
the
so much.
current issue.
Plastic
They're-
bags, paper bags? Well, we don't have any plastic bags, so it would have to be paper bags.
But we're just moving on through flu season.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Last but not least.
Busy summer. Lots of stuff going on. Just getting by, basically. You got a bunch of this stuff right there, but we get the PHE grant. Unfortunately, that left, so I've been doing interviews. We did 2 rounds. Did pick somebody. It's been a long process, but we hopefully have somebody coming in soon, because we have reporting coming up at the end of October for the first quarter. I don't want to do all that myself. AED is going to be coming in soon. We have the sunscreen dispensers, those are coming in soon. Summer is officially over. Fall sports are well underway. Mosquito was actually a very light season this year, which is good. There was some hits in the area, but we didn't have to do any targeted spraying for virus detection. We did the preemptive before school started, before the fall sports started up, for the barrier spraying, all the parks, playgrounds, school properties, common, things like that. So lucky that was a very quiet season. National Night Out was a big success. We got these tick removal kits called the Tick Kit.
I got one. It's awesome.
Aren't they cool? Awesome. So we got a bunch of those. We got those through our department here, and also our regional collaborative bought a whole bunch for the region as well. So that was a really good little tidbit to give out in National Night Out. And just gearing up for the winter now, fall and winter. Got inspections going great. We've actually been fully staffed for a long time, except for the grant, but that's all right. And we're working on the FDA standards 1 and 3 right now, the regulations. And then we're going to move on to, I think, standard 5 is the foodborne illness investigation portion of it, getting some stuff ironed out and in writing, getting our protocols in place, getting our plans in place for any type of foodborne illness. So that'll start probably happening this winter sometime. That's it. And permitting, going strong. Right, Jen?
I have a quick question for Caroline. Are you guys gonna do the mammogram ban again?
We did it once, and we haven't done it again because it does require the insurance and everything to get run beforehand, and you still have to have insurance. And it wasn't quite a hit as we were hoping it would be. I think it was 20 spots that were open, and I think 4 were taken. Because of the whole pre-authorization and insurance and everything, that it wasn't as efficient as we were hoping it would be.
I think the convenience factor wasn't quite there to kind of do it ahead of time and get your information in there and your insurance stuff. It was a deterrence for people. They just do it their annual doctor and
I always assumed they were free if they were
Right,
doing
that's
a
what I
mobile
assumed
stream
too,
thing,
yeah.
I would think so too, but they charge insurance, so.
Interesting.
Yep. But it's a thought. I mean, maybe regionally they could do it. I'm not sure. If anybody else wants to try it and see if they have better luck, or if insurances can do it on the spot next time, maybe, versus pre-approval. That might help. More spontaneous, right? Okay.
I mean, you think with something, everything so local like Lawrence General, Holy Family, and like more local radiology places that it should be readily available.
Well, we are looking to order COVID test kits too. There's the new variant coming back around, another one. It's going strong apparently. Have you seen anything or heard anything about
I mean,
it?
I have to say, I can't remember the last time I took care of a COVID patient in the ICU, which is a great thing.
Yep.
It seems to be now mostly, the worst is like a flu-like illness.
Okay.
Even my, like, severe COPD patients, asthma patients are not really being that profoundly affected, so.
Okay.
And that's been the common theme for the past 2 years.
Yeah.
Or so.
Yep. I know the new strain is roaring over in China and Europe, so there's been some stuff here, but
Yeah,
it's
heard-
more of,
Heard of a couple people here and there
Yeah.
saying that they
Same.
caught COVID.
which is why we're gonna order because we've been getting requests for COVID tests. I'm like, do you have any COVID tests? My husband's sick. No.
I'll leave it outside your front door for you.
But yeah, so people have been asking, so we're gonna order some. We have to pay for them. We do have some funding in one of our revolving accounts we can use, just to have them on hand if people want them, and there's a need for them, then we'll try at least one round and see how fast they go. But it is the season coming up, so.
Are the detection kits pretty universal for COVID in general, or are they
yeah.
tuned in any way?
I think they're pretty universal. I mean, I don't know if they can actually determine what strain they can be testing for, but
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how they test for it.
Yeah,
but
I think
figure-
most people care, do they have it or not? I guess
Yeah,
that was
it'll be
more
correct.
for,
Yeah.
is it sensitive enough to pick up the different, as the strains keep changing?
It should be, I mean, if you
Or
think
both
about the way the flu is detected too, similar
yeah,
concept.
Okay.
Can you get the ones that also check for flu A and B?
those are more expensive. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. We talked about that actually. We might get just the COVID ones for now. I don't know, what's your thought on that? You were looking at the prices the
So
other day.
we were looking at the price points. They are a little pricey, but I reached out to the state, and there might be a way to order through the state contract
Okay.
if we do like a bulk ordering.
Mhm.
So that's something we'll explore. I'm gonna doubt that the state contract has fancy flu A and B ones, the reefers. But if we do, we'll spring for 'em.
I mean, I guess the question though is that,
Yeah.
so somebody who doesn't feel well and thinks they have the flu, or they're gonna go to urgent care, or they're gonna go to their primary care doctor, because they're gonna also ultimately want treatment, right? So is it truly worth it enough for the town to invest in those test kits where they go to urgent care, they go to their primary care, they're the ones testing them and then treating them too?
A lot of people do come in and ask for them, so
Okay.
I thought it'd be a service we could offer. I think if somebody's just not feeling good, they may not go to their doctor. They may just want to know, like, what do I have? Is it COVID? Oh, it's COVID. I'm going to stay home for a couple of days. Okay, good, great. But, I mean, that's basically the recommendation now. You don't feel good, stay home. Back to that.
The progress of medicine.
Yes.
How
Yeah.
is the start of school with vaping and smoking and all sorts of stuff, anything?
I haven't heard anything about vaping and smoking. I haven't talked to Cheryl in a while, actually, all summer. But we'll probably have our community health group meet in the very near future. I believe maybe October we meet for the first annual meeting.
I know at
The high
least-
school has
stuff.
a parking monitor now, so I wonder if that's helping.
Oh, okay.
And they do, I know out of experience, which was a false alarm, that the Breathe program does, if a student misses a class, you get, the parents, the principal, every teacher gets an email saying, like, where were you?
Oh, okay then.
I know, if I recall, there's a scuttle in NAMS where they were taking off the door stalls in the bathrooms to try to address concerns over stuff like that, so.
Health
Probably too
privacy.
soon, it's probably too soon in the school
Well, that was the pushback.
Yeah.
That was the pushback.
Everybody's still behaving.
Yeah.
School's too young still right now. Yep, so, if I hear anything, I will let you know. If you hear anything, give me a buzz.
I'm sure Ron will tell us.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
He's got drones flying over. Little cigarette drones.
Tell us the newest, he always like introduces us to things I've never heard of before, so.
He does, he's good like that.
Anybody else, anything else? Going once, going twice?
Motion to adjourn?
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Adjourned.